Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy and the instructor and school administrator for Global Real Estate School. And I've had a couple of questions asking me if I could uh, do a math video on the following question. Now, this is from the state exam, and you will have several questions from a specific closing problem or maybe a question regarding a property that sells, and then they may ask you a few other questions. You really never know what's going to be on the exam, but this is a good question for you to know. So it says using the same $56,000 sales price and a 6% commission rate on a loan balance on April 1st of 23,000, 8% interest and monthly principal and interest payments of $432 gives you the closing cost for the seller of 750. If the property is sold for the listed price and the loan was assumed on April 30th, how much would the seller net? Okay, so I'm going to jump over here to to my iPad. So we know the sales price is going to be 56,000. I'm going to change the color of my pen here. So we have $56,000 sales price. Put that there. And we have a 6% commission. The problem also told us there were $750 in closing costs that the seller will need to pay. And it gave us a loan balance as of April 1st. Now, let's go back and take a look at that balance. So I'm going to jump over here, and the loan balance is $23,000. Okay, it does give us the principal and interest payment of $432. Now, the question wants to know how much will the seller net? We have a closing date of April 30th. Okay, so now we're going to need to get in there and really start, um, crunching some numbers and figuring out all of the various expenses. So we're going to use our T problem, and we're going to work. I'm going to just jump over here, and we'll work these on separate pieces of paper, digital paper. By the way, I am in Nice, France, and I have this gorgeous view of the Mediterranean Sea and some palm trees. And I'm using my noise cancellation headset. So I hope you're not hearing a lot of the honking and some of the noises that are going out on the promenade, but we'll test this and see how it does. So the first thing we want to do is figure our commission. We need to figure out how much commission is owed. Well, remember, our formula talks about part, total, and percent. And remember that I said you will always have two of the variables. You'll be solving for one. Wherever your two variables are, you'll be able to figure out what math you need to do, whether it's dividing or multiplying. So the first part of this question talks about the commission rate, right? 56,000, 6%. Well, we can put the 6% in here. That's pretty easy for us. And remember that I said you always need to move your decimal over two places. So that will be 0.06. Just works a lot easier that way if you can do that. The next question is, where does the $56,000 go? Does it go on top or bottom? Well, you're actually solving for the commission, right? And I would think the commission would be smaller. Remember, part is smaller, the little number, T for total is the bigger number. So the 56,000 is going to go right down here. Now, what does our math tell us to do? It tells us to multiply. So I'm going to grab my calculator that's on the other side of the table and take $56,000, hit the multiplication or the times button on my calculator, and then be sure and put in 0.06, okay? And that gives me $3,360. Now that's the first part of our problem. Needed to know what the commission was. That's $3,360. $360. So we have that there. We know the $750 in closing costs to the seller. Now we just have to figure out this interest. Remember that interest is always paid in arrears. It's like a hotel. You check in, and even though you give them your credit card, they're not going to charge you or bill you for the room until you check out. So, this interest on the loan's always paid in arrears. Well, there's a couple of interesting things here. It's closing on the April 30th, so we've just got to figure out how much interest will the seller need to pay on the day of closing. So let's go over here and let's work another T problem. So I'm going to go back to my other color and I'm going to put up the first T problem here. Put my math symbols on the T problem. Remember part, total, percent. Well, how much was the interest rate? It's 8%. I didn't have that down here, but it's 8%. We'll go back over here and double check, but I'm pretty sure it's 8%. Yes, 8%. The loan balance is 23,000, so I have that correct. So this is just another T problem. I'm going to plug in the 8%. Remember, move your decimal over two places. That's 0.08. Now the question is, where does the 23,000 go? Well, this is your interest rate on the loan. 23,000 is your loan balance. It's going to be the bigger number. Remember, total is the bigger number and part is the smaller number. We are solving for interest on this loan. So 23,000 times 0.08 will give us $1,840. Now, what is this? This is your annual interest. That's your annual interest right there. Well, let's go back to this problem, and we're closing on April 30th. This is the principal and interest payment. We just really need to find out what the interest is, and guess what? They give us a free softball here. We only need to figure it's 30 days interest, right? So we need to go back over here and we need to do what with this 1840? We need to divide it by 12 months in a year. So when we divide that by 12, we get $153.33. And this is what? That's your monthly interest. Now we have all of the pieces to the puzzle, right? We have the monthly interest, we have the commission rate, and they give us the two other variables we need in this problem. So 56,000, let me go back here and I'm going to just erase that. And I'm going to go back and do my different color. So we have $56,000 sales price. We're going to subtract our commission of $3,360. We're going to subtract the $750 that's given to us in the problem, and we're going to subtract the interest on the loan, which was 153.33. So I need to put that in here, 153.33. Now let's figure those up. 56,000 minus 3,360 commission minus $750 in closing cost minus 153.33 equals 51,736.67. Now, in the problem in your book, that is not one of your choices. However, that may be a choice on test day. And if you check that as the answer, it's going to say wrong. Why? Because we have a $23,000 loan balance. Remember, this right here was just the accrued interest, the interest that was due on the day of closing, 30 months, 30 days of interest. We still need to subtract the $23,000 loan balance. So when I subtract 23,000, I get an answer, and we'll just make a new color. I get an answer of 28,736.67. That is the correct answer. So when we come over here and I come down, you can see the correct answer, didn't mean to do that, is 28,736.67. $28,736.67. So don't let these kind of problems, throw you off or confuse you. Just read the information, read it carefully, go through it step by step. You will do just fine. Well, I hope this helped you out, this short little math tutorial. And if you have any other questions or you would like for me to work another math problem, just feel free to reach out to me. Don't forget, I'm going to post this on our Global Real Estate School site, the blog site. And we'd love to have you as a student. If you're trying to figure out what school to go to, I'm telling you what, we'd love to have you as a student. And we do these kinds of video explanations, live streaming, helpful tips all the time for our students. So check us out, globalrealestateschool.com. Tell others about our school. You can download our podcast on iTunes. We have some digital flashcards you can purchase here. Also have um, practice exams that are helpful. So if you're in another state or you're going through another school and you just need some additional tools, you can get those right here. And you can follow us on iTunes or read our blog. We'd love for it. Check us out on Facebook, Global Real Estate School as well. Thanks for watching this video. Go out and make it a great day.